In case you didn't know, we are officially recording. I just told you. Hey, so for folks who haven't met me, I know some of you, I think I've met multiple times, at least virtually. Kim Kuusela, that's how you say it. Think couscous and then la, so Kuusela, when in doubt. I am out of the Cumberland office with Carrie and folks. Tanya or Tanya? I should say, because I haven't met, I know, sorry, I put you on the spot there.
Yep, it's Tanya.
Tanya, perfect. I'm glad I asked. And I have not had the chance to meet, but nice to virtually meet you. So today we're going to talk about social media tips and tricks. Bill asked me if I'd be willing to do this after my agent interview, because I think I got really excited at the end and was like, I'm happy to help. But I by no means am an expert in this. I have just some trial and error. I have access to some great folks through my full-time career with Hannaford in the marketing department that have kind of, given me some insights. And then a lot of it is trial and error. So just know that I'll give you what I know and happy to answer questions, but do with it what you will. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to get you guys up and going on our presentation. If I can hit the right thing here, hopefully that's working. There we go. So here we are at our virtual agent class. And the first thing I want to talk about is why, why should we even do this? And I had a presentation that I was giving for Hannaford with my full-time career that I do with real estate, where this presentation came into play. And I thought, oh my gosh, I got to use this. The reality is social media channels give you a better return on your investment, especially if you're going to start doing boosted paid ads. Pringles, for example, they used Twitter. Obviously, this particular example is Twitter, and I don't know that I mean, you could try real estate on Twitter, but I don't know that it would be as strong. But the reality is 3 times on average, a 3 times higher return on investment for what you're spending for exposure. And so,
hey Kim,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Hey Kim, sorry to interrupt. Do you want to blow that up to like full screen or whatever? The slides.
Is it not full screen?
Nope, not on. Nope. Just like a small.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah. I think it's within the presentation. I don't know if that stopped sharing your screen.
I stopped for a second. All right, maybe I wasn't sharing the right screen. Is that better?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Perfect. All right, I must have hit the wrong one. Sorry. Thank you for stopping.
Problem.
Yeah. So this just shows at the end of the day that traditional media, so television, and I would even include like newspaper in there, they likely have a role, but you're going to spend more for less of a return on your exposure, which is why it's so important to have some social media presence out there. And so it's all about having a brand. And a lot of what I'm sharing with you is actually a presentation that was created in partnership with myself and Matt Beach, who's the owner of Creative Co. He is like a small branding marketing company that's local to Windham, Maine. He's a friend of mine. And we did a presentation together and he gave me permission to utilize these because they fit and make sense here. And at the end of the day, you need a brand. What's your story? What makes your business, your service unique to, there's a lot of realtors out there, right? How do we set ourselves apart to that consumer base, that customer base, that potential client base? Why did you start it, right? Who are you trying to help and who are the people that are making it possible? So you'll see as we talk through this a little bit more, some of the importance around social media is making sure you're tagging and bringing in the partners, your lender partners, your appraisal partner, your appraisers. Maybe appraisers would be great to be best friends with right now. Your inspectors, people that help you build your business, or other local area businesses that have similar demographics that you're trying to hit. Partner with them, tag with them, and bring that to life. So one of the big things is you need to build trust with your potential customers and clients. You need to add a value to them is really that's what social media marketing really kind of wins, is when you're adding a value to them. So it's not just about the product or the service that you're offering. Should we be talking about the homes that we're listing? Absolutely. Should we be talking about the homes that we just closed on for buyers? Yes, for sure we should, because that's what we do. But that's that's not going to be exciting for those next customers that are coming, right? Like those next clients coming to you, they want to know what value you can add to them. And so it's interesting. I just attended a like social media masterclass that I found for free online the other day. And in there, they talked a lot about how in the past, everyone has said, you want them to know you, and that's how you build that trust. And that's important. And she said, but it's more important now that you are proving that you know your client base, you know your potential consumer and what they want. So something to think about as you're building content, as you're building what you're going to do. Okay, so this was just a fun fact of why building trust is important. And it's because in a study of 1,000 consumers, people were 131% more likely to buy from brands that educated them with content, not just selling their product, right? So that goes back to, yes, we should absolutely be shouting from the rooftops if we have a listing that we're trying to promote, but talking about topics that help those potential new clients with a topic that is important. So obviously housing, right? Or buying a house or home ownership, maintenance, you name it, they become, that's how you build that trust, and they're going to be more likely to come to you. I'm going through this stuff kind of fast because I want to get to the tips and tricks of posting, which takes more time. So feel free to stop me and interrupt me if this is too fast, but I do think it's cool stuff to kind of talk through.
Well, I love that you covered that, Kim. I just wanted to say, because, a lot of our agents, we all can't brag about how many houses we sold.
Mm-hmm.
Besides the fact that, is that what consumers really care about? I mean, a seller might, but, every agent, and that's not some of our agents' goal. Some of our agents would like to sell, 10 houses well, or 20 houses well, versus, 50 or 60, and have to have a team or an assistant and all that sort of stuff. But we can all educate. And the funny thing is, if we educate, people just assume that we're knowledgeable, which hopefully we are, because we might have learned a thing or two, reading an article before we posted it to social media. So
yeah,
I think that's great.
that was part of the reason that used to stop me from posting before I got really good at my social media game, or what I should say better. I shouldn't call myself really good. I should say much better than I was. I got better because I stopped worrying about like, oh, I don't have enough homes to talk about. I don't have enough showings I'm doing, because I do this part-time, right? And I'm growing my business. And to your point, Bill, I don't want to get so big that I can't handle it well yet. Maybe someday that will change, but today that's not my goal to get massive, right?
Right.
But I still want people to trust me, to know, to feel like I know what I'm doing, and to feel like I'm adding value. So when I started thinking about it that way, it got a lot less scary, and it got a lot easier to come up with content. And so here's some thoughts on content, right? So we should be getting customer testimonials, client testimonials. Let's post those when we have those. Do some intro, if you're on a team especially, but also if you're yourself, share some video of yourself or your team talking about who they are, what they do. Get some behind the scenes things. Like if you're getting photos for an upcoming listing, you can take a few photos and share some behind the scenes work that you do. Or you're at the town hall and you're digging through a file, getting ready for a listing or for a buyer. Talk about the things that you do that add value. Tutorials and tips, that makes up a big portion of my personal social media, which I'll go through a little bit. Contests, they're a little bit tricky to run because there's a lot of rules around them, but if you are open to them, you can do those. Get some local stuff mixed in there, local restaurants, local businesses, community involvement. Kind of says like, I care about the community that I serve. I know what's happening. And I am not good at this one, but we really should be mixing in. So some of this I need to still bring into my own advice too, is bringing in some of your personal life into your real estate social media. Stephen, you're great at that, by the way. Stephen's really good at bringing in his personal life into that. because again, it's getting to know you. It's kind of like you're building a relationship virtually with these people, which is at the end of the day, what you kind of want to do. Okay, we're going to get into a little bit more about growing social media. So you want to engage your fans. In the past, there's this advice that says every time you post, you need to have a call to action. And I don't think that that's necessarily true, because that gets to feel really like salesy. And I think again, in my personal opinion, and everything that I keep reading, is that's really not the point. The point is to build the relationship and trust. And so a call to action would be something like, send me a message to talk about, listing your home, or send me an email to be a part of my newsletter. Sometimes it really is just sharing the information and not asking anything of those people. So, but engage your fans periodically. The next big one to grow is ask questions, like, comment, follow on all of those businesses that we talked about earlier. So whether it's your lender partners, builders, area builders, inspectors that you work with or know, local restaurants, like all of those things, because when you like, comment, and share and use their stuff, you are then getting exposed to their fans, who might see you and say, oh, let's check this out. And then you end up getting access to more, and they probably reciprocate, which means, again, the more you tag them, the more that you tag them, ask comments and questions, the more exposure you have, and the more chance you get more followers. And then it just sort of exponentially increases your impact. And that's the point of tag your partners. Don't be afraid to thank a closing company and tag them in your closing posts, or a lender, or an appraiser. I'm a little harsh on appraisers today, because I had one come in a little low the other day, and so forgive me on that. But videos, I get the absolute most engagement when I have a video where I am talking and it's me presenting, or a funny reel, which I just started experimenting with in TikToks recently. Very new for me, still not an expert, but getting there. And then the reality is, don't force it. If it doesn't feel like you, people are going to see that. They're going to know that it's not genuinely who you are. So don't force something that doesn't feel like you. Don't start all of this and go full force and feel like you're doing something that isn't natural. Take a little snippet of what I'm sharing with you, or what you find online that feels like you can do it, and start there. And then build up to some of these other things that I'm talking about. Okay, scheduling tips. Roughly 1 post a day, no more than 2 for posts. It gets a lot for people, and they kind of get overwhelmed, and they may actually stop following you because they don't want to see that many. I do typically anywhere from 4 to 6 a week, depending on the week. Now, reels, stories, TikToks, you can do as many as you want. It's the posts that people tend to, because it stays there and it lingers, versus the stories and the TikToks, they have to choose to go see those. So it's not as aggravating. And for folks, if you have 20 versus if you have 20 posts, hopefully that makes a little bit of sense.
And Kim, quick question. So do you have let's take Facebook, for example, do you have a personal page and a business page, and where are you doing this? Are you doing it on both? Do you recommend one or the other, or both?
I have 2. I have a separate, and that's the advice online that I read, is that you should just have one and mingle them. But I have so much content on my personal page that I don't know that I want my real estate page to have yet. So I personally still have 2 separate ones, but everything suggests that you should just have one.
Okay.
So that I've read recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot to manage having 2. So. Yeah,
it can be. Yeah, and I have 2 Instagram, 2 Facebook,
right.
2 TikToks. So I have 6 really, if you think about it, right?
Right.
But I don't really use my personal TikTok much. Yeah. So the other tip is create a bunch of content, specifically videos right up front. Like, so if I'm having I said this last time, if I'm having a great hair day and I'm feeling real confident, or if I feel real creative, I might do 3, 4, 5 videos in one setting and just have them ready to go, and then save them for when, and I just do them right on my cell phone. I don't have fancy equipment. I just do it on my cell phone with a ring light, and save them on my phone, and then do what I need to do to them to get them uploaded.
Like change your shirt in between, or
Yep, change
like...
my shirt. I might put my hair up. Yes, exactly, 100%. I think I changed lipstick one day just to make my makeup look slightly different. I mean, it just, when the inspiration hits, do it. And if you can plan it, great, but half the time I can't, and I just go, oh, I'm gonna do like 3 videos right now because I have a moment and I have 3 ideas that are popping in my brain. And I can talk a little bit about where I get my ideas from in a second. Schedule posts in Facebook Meta Business Suite. I'm going to show you an example of how to do that shortly. But I literally, if I'm feeling real good, I have my entire month planned out. I sit down on a Sunday or Saturday afternoon and I just pre-post like a month's worth of content. More often than not, I'm usually doing about a week in advance because things shift and change. And the other key is have some standard templates ready to just kind of switch pictures, switch addresses and dates, and have your consistent branding. So for me, I have just listed, under contract, just sold, open house, market updates, and testimonials. I have 6 that are just saved, and my newsletter, my monthly newsletter, saved in my Canva suite, which I'm also going to share with you today. So when I have a new listing, I literally upload the photograph, change the photo in that thing and the address, and it's done. I don't have to recreate my post for each listing because it's done and ready to go. That's the beauty of it. Okay, so I just covered a ridiculous amount. And I'm going to show you a lot of what I just talked about. The next, to give myself a break, I did pre-record me scheduling some posts in my Facebook suite. The volume, I think, might be low. So stop me if it is too low, and I'll just stop and do it live. But make sure you turn your volume fully up, and then let's see what happens. Okay, everyone, so here we are on my, can you hear it at all? My regular account on the home page, you'll see that here. And over on the left, I have the Meta Business Suite. So when I'm going into schedule, this is what I hit. And when I hit that, I stopped it. Perfect. You can see that my Facebook and my Instagram. I'm trying to turn my stuff up so you can hear it better, but tell me if it's not working. Are up here and linked and ready to go. And here below, you can see some of my recent posts. Any comments on my recent posts? Shout out to Courtney Scott and that. And here on the side is where there's a lot of information. So for the purpose of today's video, we're going to go to posts and stories. And when that happens, you'll see published posts, you'll see stories, and then you can also see scheduled. And so if I had any schedules, oh, there's something go through for some reason, so that's interesting. I didn't know that. Anywho, so either way, I can start on either of these, and I can go to create post. And from here, I want to post for both, so I'm going to hit both. If I wanted to post something also to our group there, it would have me, or I could add more, but that's not the intention today, so I'm not going to do that. I have a photo saved, so I'm going to hit add photo, and I'm going to go to my desktop. This is the one that I want to do for the 11th. I'm going to hit open, and it's going to pop up. And then if I were to go to the link marketing agency, which is what I use for my subscription that has like all my content kind of planned out. So we'll get over to that. I should have it saved, but I didn't. But again, it's super easy. I go to whatever style I choose. The control V, paste it in, right click, paste it in, whatever you're comfortable with. And then I read through it real quick. I want to make sure that I actually like what it's saying. Sometimes, depending on the content, it'll say things like, buyer agents are free, and we all know that that is not necessarily true. Then I did a few hashtags. This happens to be one that I call my Monday motivation, because it's always on Mondays, personal growth, mindset, you kind of put whatever you and then I always add do my thing. And over here, you can either publish right away if you hit publish, or you can schedule post. And below, it's going to give you optimal times based on when your followers are most engaged. You can follow them or not. Since this is a Monday kind of motivation, I want that to be a little bit earlier in the morning to kick off somebody's day. So let's say I do 9:30, and then I just kind of hit A. When I put my cursor in there, I'm going to get the AM. And then I'm just going to do that on both sides. So I'm going to put my cursor in there, change the time, put the A, and hit save. So now you see that publish has moved to schedule post, and I hit schedule post. And then this will update, and you'll see those two. You'll see those two get added. I'll go in later and figure out what happened there. And then you just keep going. So if you wanted to do another one, you would just do all of that over and over again. And at the end of the day, you basically have everything kind of ready to go. And sometimes, if you look at the feed grid, I believe it's the feed grid that does this for you. You can kind of see it's this calendar view over here on the left. This calendar planner view will give you, like, this is what you've done. So you can see if you've had any that are light, and then also has these sort of like things to think about, like Friday, April 15th, it's Good Friday, Easter's coming up, birthday's coming up, so things that you might want to look at doing the filter for. And so I do this Okay, so that gave me a few minutes to not talk, but let you see sort of a little bit of that process. And I'm sure that it'll be easier to do live for you guys, so you can tell me to stop and slow down and do what not. But I wanted to just sort of do that and share with you the process. So I'll take you through like 2 more slides, and then we'll do the live of that. So here's some platforms or some things that I use, or that some people could use to do some of the things that I've been doing. So I use Blink Marketing Agency. These all exist, these subscriptions. I say subscribe, but really, so I pay a monthly fee, to Blink Marketing Agency, and it has newsletters, 30 days of posts, stories. It has video script ideas, blog ideas, branding, logo ideas, all of those things that I have access to, and it's all editable in Canva. So if you don't have Canva, you need to get Canva. It is free, and play around with it. You obviously get more and better in Canva if you pay for it, like better photos and better fonts and things that you can do, but you can get it for free. And almost all of these, I know Curated Social uses Canva as an editing template. So most of these places will, if you get their content, you can get it into Canva and edit it to be more specific to you. So Curated Social, also you do a subscription base, but you can also get one just for free. And you have access to like a limited amount of their posts that are pre-created and text pre-created. So check some of those subscription-based things out to see if any work for you. And if you're like not sure that you want to invest in those from a monthly payment standpoint right now, at least go to Curated Social, get yourself a free account, and start testing the waters a little bit on what feels good, because you'll have some access to a few of their posts that are already ready to go for you.
So Kim, these aren't real estate specific, obviously, platforms.
No, they are.
They are all, oh, they're real estate.
All of these,
agent
all
trade, I
of
guess.
these subscriptions are based for real estate.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. And there's others out there. Those are just the ones that I know about. I'm sure there's so many. These are not specific for realtors. So the Canva is like, I'll show it to you in a second, but it literally, it's like graphic designers use this to create flyers, posters, memes, videos, reels. I mean, you name it, it's on there. This is Boomerang. So it's part of Instagram. If you want, like, you know, have you ever seen those videos where like somebody's doing an action and it repeats multiple times? Maybe it's like 3 seconds long, but it kind of keeps playing over and over.
Boomerang?
Boomerang. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And it's free. Like, it's part of Instagram. But, you know, one time I had a closing and my buyer said, let's go to lunch. And I said, okay. And so we went to lunch and we wanted to celebrate the closing. So we all had drinks and I did a boomerang where we're all clinking our glasses, and you just see that in repeat. And it's cute and it's fun and it's easy and it's free. Don't we love that? So AutoCap is, I got inspired, Bill, when you shared Josh Plowman's video that he does with Vidyard, where he started doing a series of talking, and it had the auto caption with the words below.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I realized I'm not being very inclusive when I do my videos, because for anybody who's hard of hearing or can't do their sound, they have no idea what I'm saying. So I said, well, I really don't want to pay for another one. Vidyard's awesome, but I just didn't want to pay for it. I'm already paying for some other things, and that's my choice. So I did some research and I found one called AutoCap. And so all I do is record something on my cell phone. And then I open up AutoCap and insert the video, upload the video from my phone on my phone. AutoCap is free. And it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of getting used to, but it literally will generate the captions for you, and you just have to kind of correct them, you know, add a capitalization here or break up sentences here. If it thinks you said, you know, something besides what you actually said, you have to correct it. So that takes some time and dedication. But if you want to make sure that you have some captions and you don't want to pay for that to get done, AutoCap is a great option. And then Fiverr is like a service that you can pay, like graphic designers. So let's say you want to redo your business card and you have no idea what to do. You want it to look good, you want to do something different, you want a new brand logo, but you don't know, you know, there are graphic designers that you can pay for one job, and they will create what you're asking for and do edits, and they create it, guess what, in Canva. So then you can edit it and use it as needed. So Fiverr, if there's like jobs that you aren't sure what to do, and you pay for it based on the job. So you can download Fiverr and use it when you want to, basically. It's not a subscription. All right, that was a lot of information. So David Knox has a ton. So Bill, thanks for paying for us to have access to that. I just recently realized that they have a ton of social media videos and training. This is one that I saw around TikTok, but guys, it's free thanks to Bill and him getting us access to that. So dig into the David Knox training videos. If not just for the social, for anything, but if not just for the social, they have it. Strong Brand Social is a free group on Facebook that you can join. And basically that is a company that is all about teaching small businesses social media marketing tips and tricks. And so every once in a while you get little nuggets of information on that Facebook group page. And then there's an article there called HubSpot blog. It was just some social media do's and don'ts for realtors. And it's, again, all free. So
I do want to put a disclaimer. So we have had David Knox for a year and a half, over a year and a half. Unfortunately, it hasn't been very widely used. So we will be making a transition away from it. It will be available for another month and a half. So yeah, I know the problem, I don't know if it's a problem, it's probably a good problem to have. There is so much free content out there, like whatever you could possibly want to do. I mean, anything that's Kim is teaching or anything to do with real estate, there's already a YouTube video about it. There's already a blog about it, or a podcast or whatever. And I just think there's just so much content, out there that, agents either don't feel the need to go there. I can see like how many logins we get each month, how many downloads we get. And like I said, it's just not being used. So if you have ever wanted to check it out, please take the time to do so, over the next 45 days, to download anything on there that you might want, or get some free training on there. If I can find something else that's better that agents will use, that's great. But like I said, I think people have so much access to content that they're not going there.
I go once or twice a month, so
okay.
It was not in vain.
You're the one person somebody was. It's like one person a month, now I know it's Kim.
Okay, so I have a bunch of different things that I could do for you guys. You tell me what's the most beneficial. I can take you through what Canva is and show you some of my templates and show you that. I can take you through another posting, scheduling of a posting in Facebook Meta Business Suite. And I can also take you through how I do my newsletter through Mailchimp and how I edit that. So what can I do that's best for all of you? Yeah.
I have a question about Google Business.
Okay. Let's see if I can. Okay. Let's see. See what I can do.
No, I mean, should we be using it? What is it? I don't know what to ask, but I get stuff about it all the time. And I don't know if I should create a business page on Google.
Yes.
Well, actually I have one and I just updated it, but I don't know what its value is or how I should be using it.
Stephen, you might know because you're shaking your head like crazy, but I would say, I believe it's more secure. So it offers you some of that security. And then also like, that is literally how I get my job done at the baseball field or the lacrosse field, I shouldn't say baseball. That's a Freudian slip. My husband wishes my children played baseball. But at the soccer field or the lacrosse field, and how I manage getting stuff done is I have access to Google Drive for my business while I'm at the field on my phone. So that interconnectedness is pretty perfect. Steve, what would you say?
Well, besides the Google Drive, the Google Business, I like due to the fact that like, I tell a lot of people, like if you search something on Amazon, you're going to check for that star rating. You're going to check for a 5-star. You can check for reviews. If someone's going to hire a realtor, they might want to check Google. They might type in your name and then they're going to see your profile right there. For instance, if you search for like Gorham, Maine realtor, I'll pop up. If you type in like Maine real estate agents, Google has a Google local services, it's called, and you can see like a bunch of realtors that is signed up to Google local services. Yes, it does cost money, but I mean, I get like half of my business at least from Google alone. Yeah, it's a good thing to have. It really is. And try to get your reviews, try to get, your 5-star reviews, even ask other agents if they have a Google page. And if they do, they say, hey, listen, we work together on a transaction. I would love to give you a 5-star review if you're willing to give me a 5-star review.
Good tip.
I mean, I've had, for instance, Laura, a guy looked up Laura, or actually didn't even look up her. He looked up real estate agents, and I asked him, I was like, how did you find Laura? And he's like, oh, I just Googled, real estate agents out in Lyman, Maine, and she was one of them. So I think it's Google is just a good tool to use overall. I that's what I think, in my opinion.
Good tip.
So that's an emphatic yes, April. So.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely would. I would set up your Google profile, your Google profile, add pictures, get reviews, put your phone number, the times that you're willing, your business hours, all that stuff. I would create one, definitely. And it's
okay.
free.
So it doesn't cost anything, right?
Nope.
Okay.
If you pay for advertising, and then yes, advertising costs money. Google local services cost money, but don't be afraid to invest into yourself. I've always I love marketing. I love spending money on myself because I know I'm going to make it back. You know, I spend between like 200 to 500 just on social media ads, and I spend 500 to 1,000 a month just on Google ads. And I make that money back. You know, I'm not afraid to spend it. So, yeah.
Yeah,
So you rate it
to
above
Steve-
Facebook?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would. I mean, you got to think outside the box. I mean, every real estate agent is going straight for social media, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's another good tool to use. But you know, make a Google profile. Not all agents go right for the Google profile, or Google Business, I should say. But yeah, I would definitely do that, because someone's going to search you. Someone's going to look up your name, and if they can't find nothing on you, I mean, I'd rather go with the guy that has 50 reviews, all 5-star, you know, and I'd rather go with him than a person I can't find nothing about.
Yeah.
Interesting. I have a profile, but I didn't know what to do with it.
No,
So
that's good. That's good. Well,
Good
hopefully we'll work
question,
together
April.
one day, and you can give me a 5-star and I'll give you a 5-star.
sounds good to me, Steve. I was going to do that after.
Consumers probably won't, you know, do the math and the research and figure out, you know each other. So
Too funny.
that was a good question, April.
Well, that's a good question, because honestly, I'm not even sure I have a Google business profile now that you say that.
Oh man, you're slacking. You got to get on top of that.
I mean, I feel seriously like who's teaching this class now, and I really shouldn't be if I don't.
No, I'll, you know, Kim, I definitely give you credit though on being consistent with social media. That is one thing I have a little trouble with, is consistency. I mean, I know that over time that I've learned that to gain followers and likes and people to notice you, you definitely have to be consistent.
Yeah.
And I have trouble with that. So
Yeah, no, I hear you. Well, the only reason I do that is because the only reason I'm able to do that is because I pay
Is
for
the
that
schedule.
subscription and
Yeah.
I pre-schedule. I had no idea half the content to put in there, and I would
just
never
that
do it.
you pay for a subscription
Yeah.
for planning ahead, like to
Yep.
post.
Yep. So here, let me show. I'll show you what it gives me, and that's exactly what it does. And most of those subscriptions do that. I
know
want
on Facebook you can plan, you can post ahead, like schedule your post, and it doesn't cost nothing.
exactly. So you can post exactly. So posting ahead does not cost you anything on that Facebook suite. But
Yep.
I couldn't figure out what the heck I wanted to post every day. I was like, I don't know what to post about, right? And it's not that I didn't know how to do real estate. I just didn't know what the heck
Right.
people
You have
might
to
want to
think.
hear about, like, right? And so I was like, I have no idea. So all of those subscription things that I talked about have this option. I pay for this one because it offers me all of these things. Each month they have fresh stuff that I have access to through and I pay for the least one. This one, if I wanted to, it would also post things for me, and I would never have to do anything. I wouldn't even have to go into Facebook. But to Stephen's point, it's free to post ahead and schedule in Facebook. So why would I pay another $20 a month just to have that done for me? When in reality, every content that I want is here. I loved this one because it had video scripts, and like literally when I was getting new to video, I had no idea what to say, how long it should be, like what the topic should be. So every month it tells me, here's a script and here's a topic. And if I choose to do it, I do it. If I choose not to, I don't. Every month it comes out with brand new social media topics, and I get to choose my
like
style. BombBomb is, I tried it. I haven't figured out how to use it. So, but you can create videos from BombBomb, right? Like it's a video platform. Yeah. I just use my cell phone personally, but BombBomb is a great tool I've heard a lot about. And so, yeah, so I go in at the beginning of the month and let's just choose Inspire Me as the theme that I like, or the style. Notice that I can edit and download everything in Canva if I want to. So if I wanted to change the picture because I didn't like the picture, or I wanted to change and add my photo and my branding, I can do that. Or I can take it as is. And it has everything written out for me. And so it literally has it for every single day. And
So
I choose.
just to do a recap, so the Meta Business Suite, that's where you do the scheduling on
Correct.
Facebook? Okay.
Yep. Yep.
And then Blink or the other platforms, that's just your content, so you don't have to break your brain
Yes.
thinking of stuff. Because I think 90% of agents, if they have to think of it, if they have to create
Yeah.
it, it's not going to happen.
Totally.
You know?
That's exactly what was for me. I had no, I had the brain freeze, like no idea. And oftentimes, so I get my content from here. And like I said, all of these places, you can pay even more and have them post to Facebook for you. But again, it's free to schedule in Facebook to have Instagram and Facebook post at the same time, like I showed you. So, and sometimes I don't like what these say. Sometimes they talk about, buyer's agents are free. Well, kind of, but
No,
kind of
we're not supposed to say that
maybe we can
anymore.
say that. Right. Or sometimes they talk, like, I don't know, sometimes the way that they word things are not how I would say it, and it doesn't feel natural. So, or it's not like this is something that would be used potentially in any state. So some of the terminology for real estate is different. Like, I don't know, I follow a lot of realtors from across the US too. So I get ideas from them. And sometimes sometimes they use terminology. And I'm like, we don't, what are you talking? What is that?
Yeah, close of escrow or
something.
Whatever.
Right.
Hey, Kim, how do you add the Meta Business Suite to your account? Do you know where? I mean, I see the little button there on the left. I mean, how did you get that there?
It showed up automatically one day, and I think it was because I created my separate page.
Okay.
And I when I was in Instagram, it asked me like if I had a Facebook page that I wanted to link to it.
So maybe it's on mine and I don't even know it or something.
It's possible. And so I think a lot of it is making sure that accounts are linked. And then one day, all of a sudden, it used to be called Pages back in the day, I think. And they didn't upgrade, and it became the Meta Business Suite, which is super fun.
I mean, you can just click on your profile and then go to the left-hand side and it should be right there.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not on mine. Yeah. I don't see it on mine, but what I did do, because I was cheating a little bit while you were, I wanted to check it out. So I did search Meta Business Suite on Facebook, and like these events posted, like free online classes to, use the Facebook, business suite. So it's like, just a testament that you can find anything. I know the volume was a little hard, to hear, but I'm not sure it would have, we could see what you were doing, but obviously you had,
Kim, if you click month, click the month. That's what I click the month and then I pick the day. Holy shoot.
What?
See, that's consistency. That's what
yes, it is.
I've had a lot of listings recently, so I've been very blessed that that helps oftentimes too.
Yeah, it does. And it saves you a lot of time, and it gives you time to do other things that you need to focus on.
Yeah. Yes, this is a lifesaver, like game changer to be able to schedule ahead. And honestly, guys, having a subscription for content is great. If you are not ready to do that, don't force yourself to jump into something and commit, but definitely check out Curated Social. It is meant for realtors. You can get a free, I think I mentioned this, but you can get a free, and I can just go in and show you. If I could type, that would be helpful. But you can get a free account, and when you have limited options when you do that. I already have one, so I don't have to sign up for one. And this is how I got started. So they have this week's content, and you can see this. I would have to have a subscription to get this one. But if you wanted to just use this, you could do that. And technically this is meant for realtors, but sometimes real estate is not about selling real estate. Sometimes it's about connecting with people.
They stole that from my life. I swear I've done that about a dozen times.
Right. So sometimes it's just you would sign in and say, okay, I like this one. And so there's your content. There's some suggested hashtags. If you wanted to brand it, you would have to sign up for a premium thing, right? But you could literally download this and do what I just did for what I pay for. So if you want to just sort of get used to it, Curated Social could offer you a start to kind of dip your toe in there.
There's a couple of banks that offer this, some lending institutions that
Yeah.
offer this free too. I'm sure they're paying for it, but they'll offer it to you to try and get your business.
Yes,
Not
there you go.
necessarily this one, but like List Hub, there's a couple of them that they'll offer from different banks will offer.
Totally. Oh, and take content from your partners, folks. Share their content and give them credit for their content, of course, because you don't, but like utilize people and partners to do it for sure. And I'm telling you, please get Canva. I happen to pay for it because I like having the brand kit. So like I was able to save the MREE brand colors for branding consistency because I paid for this. I paid for it. And I was playing around with some different color palettes for something else. I could save fonts that I want, but you don't have to do that. But like you can start with templates for pretty much anything. So if I wanted to say I wanted to do an Instagram story, I could just hit that and be like, okay, I have no idea what I want to do, but maybe I want to do this or that. And it could like a real estate this or that, right? So I could say, okay, I like this template. This is all free. You get more if you pay for it. And to Stephen's point, there are some things very much worth paying for. And marketing, I think, is one of those. But if you're not ready for that, so then you can say, okay, I'm going to upload some. Let's say I wanted to use images that I uploaded. I would go and bring those over. Or I can, let's say I want to do like a rustic bathroom versus a modern bathroom, right? I can search and this is premium. I'd have to pay for it, but this one is free. So I just drag it over here and all of a sudden the picture's changed to do what I want it to do, right? So modern bathroom, let's see what comes up for that.
I will say Canva is really good. I use Canva a lot too.
Right? Like, get it, people.
I don't pay for it, but hey, talking about paying for it, I think if you pay for it, you can have like 5 team members, right?
Yes,
Right,
and you can share it between people. So like I pay for it and Carrie Turnbull pays for it. And so I sent her a draft of something one day, was like, check this out, tell me if you like it. And she was like, oh, move this, move that. And it was my business card or whatever when I first transitioned. So yes, teams should have it. It's worth it. Plus you get like just better quality photos if you pay for it. So, it's true.
And when you say teams, it could be, any group of 5 agents.
It could just be like Kim
yeah.
adds me on to Canva.
Steven's
So
like, Kim, give me access to some of your stuff. It's fine.
So I don't have to pay for it.
Right. And so let's say I don't like the color of that pink. I can go up here and I want to use an MREE color because, oh, apparently I clicked the wrong one. Hold on, we'll get there. If I can click the right one.
Photoshop's really good too. I like Photoshop.
And it takes some getting used to, without a doubt. There we go. I clicked the right one now. And done. I'm done. Now I download it, post it, and it was all free. Yay.
April,
Okay.
Did you have another question?
I do. Does anybody using LinkedIn? What about LinkedIn?
No. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
When you do all this other stuff, like, yes, LinkedIn, yeah, like number 10, like once
LinkedIn's
you
up and
get all
coming,
this other
trust me.
stuff.
Trust me, use it.
Okay. Don't listen to Bill.
I don't use it the way I probably should. So Stephen, you should tell. I don't use it the way I should. I guarantee it.
It's more professional. I would use LinkedIn. You might not get anyone off of it, but you definitely can get some good connections.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, you should
that's
be
really
there.
good.
You should have an up-to-date profile for sure. I'll go on
Yeah.
there and agents will still have their, like 3 real estate companies ago or, whatever. That's not good, but.
Okay, I have another question.
Okay.
I came with a bunch of questions.
You did?
I'm so dumb at all this. So on the Facebook page, we talked about the list of realtors, okay? You know, when you want to send out an open house or a new listing or something. Remember, Bill? And I said, well, we
Yes.
don't, yeah, okay, that list. So how do we use that list though? I mean, I don't even know how to.
Well, that's just
send-
for email. Yeah, that's just
I know,
for
but how do you
email,
do
like-
a mass email with a list like that?
Oh, here, let me share my screen again and I'll show you right
Okay.
now.
Sure.
Let's get
Do you
this
use
going.
Sur-
I love it.
Do you use
So
survey monkey?
I use Mailchimp, but there's
Oh,
others
Mailchimp, yeah.
out there. So this is free. You can pay for more, but I have it free. And I just uploaded all of York counties, so mine got much bigger. And so you create a campaign essentially, and you add in your contacts. I would do an email. Let's pretend I actually have one already done, ready to go. So I probably should just do one that's drafted to make it easier and faster. So you need
is this free? The
Yeah,
Mailchimp one is free?
Mailchimp.com, and you're just going to
Yeah.
import that list into it. So
Yep.
it's just, yeah, so it's just an email, you know,
Yep.
you're not marketing to them on a social platform. You're just emailing the agents.
And
Right.
Mailchimp is free.
It is
Yes.
free. You can pay for it and you get more, again, you get more options and more business insights and more, but you get up to 2,000 contacts for free and 10,000 emails for free.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's fine. And so this does all the things like, so if I were to, this is my April newsletter. I haven't done it yet. I was planning to show you guys how I do it if you wanted to know. And we have only 1 minute left, but I have my
The clock's
contact-
not going to stop.
We started
The
3
recording-
minutes late.
You're not going to
Touche.
shut down.
April's like, stay on, Kim, just stay on.
Okay.
I won't be offended if people go though, I promise. So this happens to be to like my previous clients. This is what I send them my newsletter. So my previous clients get these, but you would edit recipients and get them from your audience, your contacts that you upload that list from. And I'll go into more detail, April, if you want, once you get it set up, if you want to reach out to me and like walk you through, but essentially you're welcome. You would tag them as, buyer, realtor, whatever. And you would pick the audience that you're trying to send that email to, and then you would update the recipients and call it good.
And Kim, where do you create that newsletter or flyer or whatever you want to send out? Where's that?
I get it from my subscription.
The Blink.
That Blink.
Yeah.
And then I edit it in Canva. So here it is. I went to this, which is my subscription that I pay, and it comes out with one every month. And my computer is just saying, oh my God, don't work. And I said, click here to edit, because I wanted to change the photos and the fonts. And so when I did that, it opened it up here in Canva, and I changed to my name, my photo. I added main real estate experts. I'll make it bigger. I added my email, Instagram, website, so that it would be personalized to me from what Blink, my subscription, kind of sets for me. This is like all the information was in there. I literally just changed my contact info, and then I hit download, and it downloads a picture basically to my desktop. I then upload that into Mailchimp, and here I want to change it because this was last month's, so I want to replace it. And then I just click it, insert, and all of a sudden I'm done. I'm ready to go. And I could literally send this right now, and it'll go to all of my recipients. So if I wanted to, it would literally take me less than 10 minutes, because I spent the time getting this set up, and because the subscription base has it. Look, I'm going to send it. Send now.
I was
Done.
just gonna say, Kim, no pressure. You don't have to do that right now, but does
Well,
the
I mean,
link allow?
I have to send it. I haven't sent it yet. So
Oh,
And now it's done, right, Kim?
and
No,
now
it's
it's
done.
done. And now I don't have to.
does Blink allow 5-agent teams as well, or we don't know? I'm just
I
kidding.
don't think so. I don't know. You'd probably have affiliate you probably have to check.
Yeah.
But again, there's so many. There's Content 30, Elevated Agent, Agent Crate, which I think Carrie has access to. So I'd have to look, Bill, to be honest.
Kim,
with you.
could you go back to MailChimp for a second? I
Yeah.
thought I saw something when you first went in there. And do you have a completed campaign, and like it'll show you how many people opened the?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Hold on. Let me
But you
get
have to
that.
pay for that one, right?
Nope. I don't pay for MailChimp.
Nope, 2,000 contacts for free. So, but I thought I saw a response rate, and that I don't know if it was, if I saw what I thought I saw, but
No, you did for sure. So
but
it will
it's fairly
tell you.
low, I think, right? Like,
Yes. Don't make me feel bad, Bill.
no, don't feel bad. Well, no, I'm just checking myself, as far as like, I don't want to give agents bad advice. Like most of the agents I know don't, they don't like getting, that stuff. Like I said, I know as a listing agent, we're supposed to market our listings and, get them out to people. It's just, a lot of agents don't even read, my email. So it's like,
Right.
um,
So I had 15 out of my 23 past clients open this
okay.
email. And so
Okay.
it will
That's pretty
tell
good.
you if it's worth it.
15 out of 2,000. You thought that was good,
No.
April?
15 out of 23.
Oh, 15. No, that's your clients. Oh, no. I was talking about the board realtor email.
Oh yeah, I haven't sent
Oh.
one to them yet. I have not
Okay.
sent one to that list yet.
Oh yeah,
So I
no,
can-
that's excellent. Absolutely. No, that's, everyone should be doing this with people they know and their clients. I think the rate on the realtors is abysmal, which is why I don't push agents doing that, but I could be wrong. Like, we sent out a recruiting one once, and like, it was like 0.1% or something, even clicked on it, so it's like, oh, well.
Yeah, no, for sure. And
But
the
yeah,
clicks is like, if I have a link in there, which I do, I have some links that people can go to. If people actually clicked the link in my newsletter, it's not.
Yeah,
So
I mean, that's a fantastic, I mean, I can't do math that quick, 60%, or I don't know, that's a great response rate. And it was free, like you could mail them the newsletter and not get that amount of.
That's funny. I'm sure there's way more in here too that I don't even know about, but at the end of the day, like that's what I use it for so far. That's what I know.
So we could get a list from RPR, right? Because you can get a list of like neighbors from RPR. So if you were going to do a quote unquote open house, you could download that list into Mailchimp and then send it out as if you were to putting a thing on their door, like we
Well,
used to,
RPR is
right?
not going to have email addresses, right?
No, but they won't have email addresses. That's right. Oh, you're so smart, Bill.
Yeah, you'll have to mail that one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Nice try though.
I liked it. I liked where your head was going.
But Facebook does let you, if you start paying, or on Google, if you start doing any paid advertising, they still let you do geographic, right? Did they take the age thing out? I think, because I thought the age thing was good, because I don't want a bunch of 16-year-olds clicking on my posts, but you can do some targeted stuff with Facebook, at least.
Yeah, usually in the interests, like you can do like
real estate or
real estate, first time home buyer. Yeah. I haven't figured out, that's something I'm still trying to work on too, is like what the right interests to include for a target audience, depending on what I'm doing for the post is. Specifically on like really unique properties. Like I have one right now that's a mountainside condo and ski resort, and it's like, I need some serious winter enthusiasts. Steven, you are one of them. Maybe you need to buy this place, but so you want to like target it to the right audience. And when I was looking through the interests for that boosted post, I was like, oh, none of these really are what I'm looking for. They didn't relate the way I wanted to. So I'm guessing that my current boosted post for that particular listing is not as fruitful as some others have been because of how unique the property is to design, like a specific demographic of a client.
Where's the best place to go to learn how to do that well?
Great question. I don't know.
Learn how to do what well, April?
Boost a post. Oh,
Go
because
to
that's
go
what
to
you would
YouTube. Go to
boost.
YouTube. Go to YouTube
Mhm.
and type in how to boost a Facebook post, and you'll get 100 videos on.
Do I have to
how
watch 99 of them or?
No, just pick one that looks, recent or you know.
39 problems, but boosting ain't one.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Come on,
It-
did you like that,
it's-
Steve?
Yeah, it's easier than, I mean, a lot of times what it'll come right up on your Facebook feed. It'll say, boost this post, and you just
Mhm.
click on it. Like,
Yeah. The key is you have to pick the special interest category or special ad category because it is housing. And so they have really specific rules around fair, specifically for like fair housing, I think
Right,
is really
right.
where it comes from.
Yeah, they
is
want to
that-
make sure you don't use
Yeah.
any of the bad words or which,
Mhm.
might be different than the MLS ones, but
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
Cool. Thank
But-
you.
for
Yeah.
sure.
well,
Hopefully this
thank
was semi-helpful.
you, Kim, so much. And thank you everyone that was able to be here today and your questions, and Stephen for the co-hosting. And yeah, we'll get this posted on the YouTube channel, and appreciate Kim's time.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Kim.
Thanks, Kim. Have a good day, everyone.
You gotta take it all easy. Bye.
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 Bye.